came by messenger.
I would appreciate an hour of your time. Please be at the Ambassador Hotel swimming pool at 11 a.m. Signed, Mustafa Hakim.
Oh, money!
No, actually, it's leprechaun toilet paper. Of course it's money! Yes, money sent by this man, who also wants to hire Sam to find the sapphires. Because if you haven't noticed, he seems to be a fan of a certain pigment.
I've never seen a Turk with blue eyes.
My mother was not Turkish.
That's a coincidence. Neither was mine.
Hakim then gives a history lesson about how the Eyes of Alexander wound up in Greece.
There it remained for more than 100 years. When the Germans invaded.
The Blitzkrieg boys, huh, Wolfie?
Yeah, Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, Hitler rules!
Mr. Zinderneuf spent some time in Greece during the war.
I'll wager he was wearing gray with a crooked cross on his armband.
General Zinderneuf found out where the statue was hidden. He managed to secure the bust, smash it to pieces, remove the sapphires, and then hide them only hours prior to the Allied takeover.
A little post-war insurance, huh, Wolfie?
Long story short, Wolfie here is Elsa's great-uncle, who had his nephew smuggle the stones into America when he was working on a film as a prop man.
Say, did your dad ever work on any John Wayne pictures?
Because of his record, Zinderneuf knew he would have a difficult time smuggling out the sapphires.
But Horst Borscht wouldn't, in one of his prop boxes.
That was the plan.
And it worked?
Up to a point. Borscht and the sapphires left Greece. Unfortunately, Zinderneuf did not.
What detained Wolfie?
He was recognized by one of the Greeks from the occupation. An argument ensued, then violence. Zinderneuf stabbed the Greek in the throat with a fork.
Back in the slammer, huh, Wolfie?
That guy loves being a murderous Nazi.
Mr. Marlowe,
Nice of the soundtrack to wait for him.
prepared to pay you the sum of $100,000 for the Eyes of Alexander.
I'll think it over.
100,000.
I heard you. It's the best offer I've had so far. Say, Wolfie, did you know that Zinderneuf was the name of the fort where everybody got killed in a picture called Beau Jest?
Save them useless movie trivia for the professionals, will ya?
Mr. Marlowe was just leaving. Mr. Marlowe, Mr. Zebra.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Marlowe.
Likewise.
Jinkies.
Jinkies?
Velma said jinkies. It must be important.
Subtle. As if that awkward moment weren't bad enough, Sam gets a mysterious phone call back at his office.
Sam Marlowe.
You want to know where the eyes are?
That'd be nice.
The garage down the alley, behind the Vanity Fair building. Side door's unlocked. Come along in 5 minutes.
It's a trap!
Sure enough, Sam gets knocked the hell out and loses both consciousness and Boris's letter. Then he goes back to the office to find another pain in the neck waiting for him.
Stick out your hands. Both of them.
I thought you were Dale.
No, it couldn't have been you. But then again, it could have been somebody you hired.
I'm completely in the dark.
Would you say you were also alone?
You work for the Blue Man?
Not exactly. I work for myself.
Don't we all?
Mr. Marlowe, I received your message.
I want you to do a little explaining. How did you find out about the eyes?
In prison, in Greece. Zinderneuf and I were cellmates. You might say we were more than that.
I never would have guessed.
We were the only civilized people in that prison, and after a while...
There's a Greek that had his esophagus twirled like a spaghetti noodle that might want to disagree with you. Okay, another long story. This guy's a black market operator who wanted to help Wolfie sell the eyes for a cut of the money.
So you're an agent. I should have known.
Where are you going?
To the toilet.
Your kind makes me want to puke. Homosexuals? No, agents. Realizing that Sam is in a position to cut him out of a $100,000 deal, Mr. Zebra is forced to accept a new proposal.
Since you're double-crossing your old roomie, would you consider this? A third for you?
And 2/3 for you?
No, a third for Borsch's daughter.
You're You're a man of ethics, Mr. Marlowe.
A woman-punching man of
Yes, I would
ethics.
cons-
Now don't you just hate this? You renegotiated your $1,000 deal. You've been woken up by your second girlfriend who wants to cook you a nice meal, only to find a couple more thugs tearing up her house. More goons wearing those same stupid hoods as the ones I just killed before. Now, do I know any weirdos that would hire well-dressed assassins and that has an obsession with the color blue? It'll come to me. But apparently, Sam would rather think about the nature of good and evil over dinner.
Sam, my dad was a good man.
He was a good soldier. They were all good soldiers, just doing what they were ordered to do.
What do you mean?
I don't know what I mean.
I've been getting hit in the head a lot lately. I should probably see a doctor. But before he can make an appointment, Gina invites him to a party on her father's boat, where he seems to be just as friendly as always. Wonderful to meet you. I'm going blind. Hello, I'm going blind.
It was all home week. The joint was glutted with familiar, if not friendly faces.
Mr. Marlowe, we meet again.
Did I mention I'm going blind? Yeah. Did I mention $200 a day plus expenses? Yes, I believe you have. Blind.
It was almost an hour later when the Commodore got his
blind.
moment with me.
I must have them. Hold them with these hands, see them with these eyes while there's still time. I must.
I got you.
Whatever Hakim has bid, I will better. You won't forget our little chat.
Never in a million years, Commodore.
Well, plus expenses. Blind. So after a pointless post-party rumble with the turkeys from the bar earlier in the movie, they head over to the Blue Fez nightclub, where Hakim is throwing a special party. Go get me some Sun Chips and Cool Ranch Doritos, and oh hey, do they still make Pepsi Blue? You know he's stoned out of his mind because he comes up with a really messed up idea after watching some belly dancers. Does Wahim have to choke a bitch? Oh, so this is where Lady Gaga got her dance moves. So yeah, he makes his assistant strip for him and the others. And as creeped out as Sam and Gina are by this, what is even creepier is that this nightclub is filled with middle-aged women who seem to love belly dancing and stripping. Disgusted, Sam and Gina make a beeline for the exit, and for some reason this guy with a sword stops them. Naturally, Sam shows everyone the error of their ways, with good old-fashioned violence.
Tyrone Power did that in the Mark of Zorro.
I like it when the movie reviews itself. Let's ignore that for a while we head over to Story A, as Sam asks Elsa some more questions to see if he's missing anything.
I've been thinking. Are you sure what your father said before, when he saw you?
Well, not really sure, but it sounded like he said, "Ein Schlag," I'm hit or hurt. My German's not too good.
Yeah, well, I still think he was trying to tell you something. Maybe something to do with the letter. How do you say letter in German?
Brief. Yes, that's it. Brief.
Elsa, write down what your father said.
I'm not too sure about the spelling, but that ought to be pretty close.
So you don't speak any language good, do you? Oh, about 15 minutes past the hour. So after some help from a friend, Sam realizes that Boris was trying to tell him that the envelope was the secret to the eye's location. But as usual, nothing is that easy.
What's the matter, Sam? What's the hurry?
It's not here.
What's not?
The Umschlag. The damn envelope.
Oh, yeah. Don't it look neat? I cleaned the place up a bit.
Does Bogey have to choke a bitch?
Duchess, where'd you throw the stuff?
Downstairs in the bin by the alley.
It's empty. The damn bin's empty.
Are you sure?
Am I sure? For God's sakes, Duchess, can't you see the damn thing's empty?
You're right. It is empty.
Mr. Wing.
Oh good, an Asian pirate cook. I thought this movie was missing something.
Hello. Look, Mr. Wing, you see the garbage truck come by?
Yes, Mr. Bogart.
Marlowe, how long ago?
Just a few minutes ago. It's right down there.
Itza. So he's an Italian-Chinese pirate cook.
You're welcome, Mr. Bogart.
So after a bit of dumpster diving, they luckily find the envelope, and we finally figure out what the poem was talking about.
Under the tramp of marching feet, under the beat of daring drum, follow the tree beneath the post, age. That's it. Post age. Postage.
Hell, Sam, I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is I smell.
Look at the stamp. The postage stamp. The answer to the riddle is right underneath this postage stamp. All we gotta do is steam it off.
That's actually pretty clever. But Sam's victory is hollowed when he tries to contact Elsa, only to find out that she's been murdered.
She was the cute one, man, the impossibly cute one, and now she's gone. You killed her, man. Wrong, wrong.
Mr. Hakim suggested I come around and see you.
Okay. You seen me and I've seen you. Now what?
Mr. Hakim asked me to tell you that no matter what Alexander Anastas bids, he will better the offer.
Okay, now you've told me. Now let me ask you something. Do you always do everything Mr. Hakim asks? Suppose he asked you to sleep with me. Would you do it?
You listen to me. Until a few years ago, there was no Cynthia Ashley. But there was Alina Wisniewski from a ghetto in Poland with a brutish father who used his daughter in unspeakable ways I'll leave up to your imagination. A girl who had nothing, who would do anything to escape.
Really? You're really going there? How is it that out of all the reviewers out there, I find the one movie that isn't nothing but filler? In fact, it has too much plot. I mean, I haven't even mentioned half the stuff that goes on with the cops.
What's eating hacksaw? Hemorrhoids.
Or this running joke about Duchess getting dirty phone calls.
Oh, and the man who talks dirty, he called twice. I wrote down most of what he said. You know, Sam, I think he really has a problem. Listen to this.
Duchess, why do you write that stuff down?
Because I can't remember it.
Then forget it.
And now you're pulling this? Pee-wee's Playhouse didn't have this much insanity. Okay, you know what? Fine, let's move on. Sam calls Gina, and they take her boat out to Catalina Island, where they find the eyes of Alexander hidden in a gas tank nozzle at an old World War II base.
You take him. Sam, you trusted me.
Why not? What could you do? Kill me? Everybody dies.
I take it back, no one dies ever. So a car chase ensues. But luckily, Sam was able to give them the slip. And then the bump.
Hold on, Angel.
I told you I was the angel of death. So now they take Gina's boat to meet the Commodore, who thinks he's about to buy the sapphires. Unfortunately, he gets a nasty surprise.
Where is that?
What, are you going deaf too?
Who's up there?
It's the Turkish Delight. Some of the interested parties.
You said you were selling the sapphires to me.
No, Commodore. I said you could bid on them. Why did you want all these people here?
We've all got a vested interest in the deal. Okay, let's all go inside. You too, Angel.
Oh, banana peel.
Remember, partners. Half and half.
Of course.
Jinkies. Velma said jinkies.
Wait, it must be a clue.
So bidding for the rocks begins, and it turns out that they both brought $1 million each. So then they start strip bidding. But this turns out to just be a ploy by Sam, who just wants to teach Hakim a lesson for Cynthia's sake. No, he plans on turning in the stones as evidence against Ilsa's killer.
But who? You, Commodore? Gina? Mr. Hakim? Zindanef? Cynthia? You, Mr. Zebra? Who? 5% wasn't good enough for you. You wanted half, all of it, if you could get rid of me. In my office, we agreed to split the profits in thirds with Elsa. Before we came in here, you said 50-50. Nobody else knew Elsa was dead. You killed her.
Let's see. Yep, it's all there in black and white. With the police on their way and his back against the wall, Mr. Zebra goes for Sam's gun. But Sam plugs him in the head. Then Wolfie goes for the gun and the stones, but Sam corners him above deck and knocks him off the boat. So then the guy tries to swim away, but then his fake arm gets bitten off by, should I really be surprised by this, a shark. And yes, this movie came out right after Jaws, and yes, they do make a reference to it.
That shark had to be at least 20 feet long. Jaws is big.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those sharks around lately.
Did you see which arm the shark got?
Because if you do not recall any of my previous statements, I am going blind.
Sam, what the hell is going on around here?
I'll explain it all to you on the way back.
Sure, Sam, sure, but explain one thing to me right now, will you? Why are those two men standing over there without their pants on?
After that, we get back to the real plot of the story.
Oh, honey pot. What happened?
There was an accident. Hit and run.
Lohan strikes again.
Poor old Nicky lost his memory. Wandered around for days and days till his memory came back.
Poor baby.
Internal injuries. And there's damage to his groin.
Was the guy driving a forklift?
Yeah. You'll have to be gentle, Mother. Warm baths. Tender loving care. Nurse him back to health.
So, as stupid as that sounds, Mother believes it and Sam gets his 3 months' rent. And so our movie ends with, son of a bitch! Peter Jackson must have been a consultant on this thing.
Why did you let Zebra get your gun? He could have killed you.
No, he couldn't. I loaded the clip with blanks. That's something else I didn't tell Bombera.
But why?
Because I didn't know if a jury would convict him.
So you were the jury?
And the executioner.
So after his little Judge Dredd speech, Sam reveals that he's had the gems all along, and that he plans on donating them to charity. Gina seems smitten by this, but he blows it by going nerd on her.
You know, Angel, you look a little Chinese tonight. Like Jean Tierney in a Shanghai Gesture. There was this one scene where she's coming down the stairs.
Sam.
Yeah?
Shut up and come to bed.
Yeah. Well, here's looking at you, kid.
And with that classic line, the movie ends. And what else can I say? Sure, this movie is cheeseball, but in that lovable way that actually makes it great. I actually recommend it to you people. Movie buffs will enjoy all the references, and there's an aspect of Sam that I think we can all enjoy. He's a fanboy that manages to do all the things his heroes do without getting over his head. And you know, he actually gives a pretty good reason why he'd want the face of Humphrey Bogart.
You are amusing. But would a jury believe you? You with your made-over face and outrageous voice and costume? In the vernacular of your country, Mr. Marlowe, you are screwing.
Maybe I am. Maybe not as screwy as you and your kind think. Maybe this is all part of a disguise, a mask, to draw the enemy off guard, lower their defenses, say and do things they ordinarily wouldn't do, and wind up like you're gonna wind up.
Sadly, this is probably the high mark of Robert Saatchi's career, but ended up back impersonating Bogey until his retirement. But you know what? I think he can be proud of producing one of the most interesting oddities in cinema history. And that's Robert Saatchi, the man with Bogart's face.
He's the man with Bogart's face. See the man with Bogart's face.
You know, you never did tell me why you hit me at Petey Kane's club.
Oh, that? Simple. John Wayne slugged his pal, Ward Bond, in a picture called Hondo for the same reason. When you wanted to confuse the enemy, hit a friend.
Interesting.
But it wasn't such a good idea. I scraped my knuckles on your big horse teeth.